Hello, everybody. You've got Dan with Five Wide Football here. Today, we're welcoming in the great LQ from Real Deal Fantasy. He's got a very good channel, very good following. He was nice enough to have me on 2 weeks ago onto his account, and we did a really good video. Anybody
Really
who's got the time should go over, check it out. He's really on top of it. His Twitter is very fun to follow. Because you post lots of quick little videos, lots of great insights. And then if you've got some more time, his YouTube also has some really good in-depth breakdown of players and teams. He likes to do a offensive breakdown to tell you which guys to target from each team in fantasy. You want to give a shout out, tell everybody where to find you?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Wolfpack. You guys can follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, etc. I'm there. Discord even. I just made a Discord, so try to get that out there as well. So we could just join the chat, just give live rankings, give live start and sits once the season starts. So I'm all ready for it, man.
I can't wait for some real sports to start happening.
I know.
I'm not even a UFC fan, but I was excited to see that. I've heard that Europe's finally playing soccer.
There was a game today. Yes, and I watched it. 4-0. Let's go.
You a big soccer fan?
Yes, big soccer fan. Manchester United. Glory. Yes. Come World Cup, I usually cheer for England for obvious reasons, but I like Mexico to be the underdogs because they play very well. They just haven't been very good lately, but you know what I mean? So let's go England.
Yeah, sadly, the United States is never that good. So
it's a lot of politics. They play favorites. That's why, man. There's so many American good soccer players that just don't make the team because of just the politics, the endorsements, just the fame and popularity contests every year. Yeah. So in other countries, if you're good, you're good. You're playing.
One of my favorite sports memories of all time was I was in the Dominican with my roommate in college. We went there on spring break, and it was the World Cup. So it was over the summer we actually went. It was the World Cup was going on, and we're in the airport, and the United States had to win to advance to the elimination round, and it was packed, and it was all like very few Americans, lots of foreigners. Mm-hmm. And Landon Donovan shoots, and it gets blocked. Mm-hmm. And there's like no time left. They just went into stoppage time. It gets blocked, and the goalie like jumps up in celebration, and Landon Donovan comes sprinting in and gets his own rebound, scores the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
As time expired. It was pretty sick. And then everyone was doing shots in the airport bar waiting for their plane.
Yeah. That's why I love soccer. The energy is unmatched. Like, let's not get into soccer. Yeah, we're here to talk fantasy because I
get that. I feel like anyone who's listening is a sports fan, and I love talking about sports memories. So what we're gonna do before we get too far off is we're doing buy sell based on average draft position. Mm-hmm. So LQ went out and he got some guys that he thinks are going too high that he wants to sell on. Like these guys are guys you don't want to touch at their ADP. They could be good players.
Yes.
You're not going to take them in the first or second or whatever round they're going. And I went and I found 3 players that I feel like are really good players that are being slept on for whatever reason.
Yes.
And so I think it kind of makes sense for us to go back forth. Maybe you want to give us your first sell, someone who's going just way too high in your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make it clear too. I'm not knocking these guys' talent. I'm not knocking anything that's really around them. It's just that they're not going to live up to that ADP, and you're going to be very disappointed. And that's the most problem that we have sometimes come draft day. Like we go out and grab this guy in X amount of round or whatever, and then you're hoping to get that value, that production every single week because you took him that high, and then boom, it doesn't happen. So my first guy, I just did a video on this guy, and I think it just fits perfect to what we're talking about, and it's Odell Beckham.
I knew you were going to say it.
He's going everywhere. Like the mock drafts I've been doing, I've been seeing him go in the 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, which are fair rounds because of his name. His name still sells. Would you agree?
Oh, the talent is astronomical. I mean, as a Giants fan, and we haven't historically had great receivers, he blows everyone out of the water. He's
Yes.
twice the talent that like a guy like Plexico Burris or even Victor Cruz was at their peak. I mean,
oh yeah, for
but
sure.
with receivers, someone's got to get you the ball. And with Odell Beckham, he's going so high that it's just hard.
It's so hard too because he's going all over the place. That's what's like the most frustrating. So when we talk these ADPs, when we talk about guys and going such and such round, it all comes down to our league mates as well. That's what I like to stress too, because my league mates, like if you get like, no offense, a Giants fan that is in my league, he's going to reach on Odell even though he's on another team because it's his name. So therefore, it's like, it all comes down to your league mates. But at the end of the day, most of these mock drafts I've been seeing them go all over the place. So again, you're going to get a guy that finished wide receiver 25 last season, right? And he was going as high as the back end of the second to third round last season. And he finished wide receiver 25 on a bad team. Like, we know the Browns are bad, right? Like, we understand their organization. There's no success there. Like, that's where they send people to end their careers. Like, I don't see them being – this great team going to win the division. Like, unless Lamar Jackson freaking breaks both his ankles or, the Steelers just fall completely off. Like, I just don't see it happening.
That's a good point, too. The division's tough.
Yes, the division's tough. And you have to, like, I like to get into the psyche of it, too, because, like, if I'm a Browns player and I have these big dogs in my division and we're not winning games, I'm not going to be motivated to go out there to give it my all. You know what I mean? Like, I've been on a sucky team before. Like, we're back to soccer, but I didn't want to go out there and give my 100% when I know we're about to get blown out like 3-0. Like, it is what it is. Like, that crosses some people's minds. So it's like, the Browns suck. They're a bad team. So therefore, I'm not believing Odell saying he's going to come back faster. He's going to come back stronger because he just had the worst surgery. It's like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I believe you now that you're going to come back bigger and stronger. Like, that right there, it's like red flags. Like, I'm just going to say him going anything above like the fourth round is just crazy to me. If he falls to me in the fifth round, fine, I'll take him. He'll be my solid flex because there's a high ceiling there. He could go off. So you know what I mean? And like, I made an example before. You had John Brown. He finished wide receiver 20 last season. Guess what round he was going? In like the 10th, 11th round.
I was gonna guess 8th or 9th. So yeah.
Crazy. Jamison Crowder finished 26. Odell finished 25. He's going in the 12th round, if not drafted. So it's like, the name still sells. That's why I need people to pump the brakes on Odell. His name is just the big name that you see, the flashy lights. He has the high ceiling. Don't get me wrong. Baker can go off this year. People are even saying Baker could be a top 5 quarterback this year in fantasy. Bring it back a little bit, but it is possible. It's possible, though. It's very possible.
But and I do a lot of mouths to feed, even if he does.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I do believe that he could be set up for success, but I'm just not taking that price tag. It's a little too pricey for me to go out there getting an Odell Beckham because he's burned people. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're an Odell owner, in your fantasy history. Like, he's been burning you. He'll take you to the dance. But he's leaving at 9:30.
I traded Odell in my keeper league to a guy who loves receivers a couple seasons back while he was still on the Giants for, I believe it was Melvin Gordon in might have been Hooper. Might have been Melvin Gordon and Hooper in a pick, I think, the following year, like a 6th or 7th round pick. It turned out to be decent for me for a little while till Melvin Gordon decided to hold out. But
well, there's that.
yeah. But so if you're going to go the receiver that you are selling, and I'm agreeing with everything you say, I feel like if you can get Odell in the 5th round or after, it's a steal because even though he might not be what he was, he's still going to be a wide receiver 2 to a flex guy. He's still a playable player.
Yes, sir.
Because that was his worst season. Yeah, that was his worst season by far, and he finished wide receiver 25. Yeah. So my guy that I feel like is going way too far back, and it's because he's on a bad offense at receiver, is Allen Robinson.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are going, what? So Allen Robinson right now is going off as the number 25 wide receiver and sleeper in the 58th overall. So just like we're saying with like Odell, if you could get him in the 4th or 5th, that's a good one. You can get Allen Robinson at the tail end of the 5th or beginning of the 6th. This
Yes.
guy had 154 targets last
I
year.
was just about to say that. That is amazing because there's nobody else that he can throw to.
Yeah.
Like with Nick Foles, I think if Nick Foles pulls up into that starting position, I think he could have a repeat mirror of what he did last season.
Yeah.
Definitely for sure. He's being undervalued.
Nick Foles had some good seasons with the Eagles before he went over to Rams. He wasn't terrible with you guys.
No, he was terrible.
He was I feel like he was in a very bad situation.
Yes, for sure. He was in a bad
stuff.
situation, bad coaching, etc. It was just
Allen Robinson finished last season. I'm looking right here. He was the wide receiver number 12.
Yeah.
So he's 13 spots ahead of Odell and going behind him in drafts. He's crazy. In his 2 seasons with Chicago, he's averaged 8.4 targets a game. And who's going to steal from him? One of their 50 tight ends?
No.
So in his hands have been going up. Like when he was with Jacksonville, there's slight questions on his hands. Last year, he caught 64% of the balls thrown to him on 154 targets, which is really good. He had over 1,000 yards. He's had over 1,000 yards twice in his career. And people forget he's only 26.
Very young.
He feels like he's been in the league for a while. And he was healthy last year.
Yep.
He was finally healthy after that big injury in 2017 and not being 100% in 2018. So now you got the second season with him fully healthy, third season with him in this offense. I think he has a better season than last year. He's going to get 130, 140, 150 targets, somewhere in that range. So I just feel like the volume means you have to take him higher than like the late tail end 5th round, early 6th.
I definitely agree. I like 110% agree. Like you have to, it's not a necessary reach taking him in the 4th round. Honestly, it's not. It's actually a solid pick. So actually in one of my leagues last year, I actually ended up with a Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, and Allen Robinson. It's my 3 wide receiver core. Sick. I lost. I still lost because I wasn't really good at running back. But that combo for me was just amazing because it's like I got such value taking A-Rob in the later round. So it's like I'm going to take that again this year. And it's not, like I said, it's not really a reach because who else are you going to throw to? Nobody else. But
Anthony Miller, and he's not anything special.
I just started hearing this buzz about him probably 2-3 days ago. Like everybody's like on the hype train now, like out of nowhere. I don't know who starts this crazy madness, but like they're just on the hype train out of nowhere. But like I really need to see something. He's more my wait and see list. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go buy a guy just because there's a wave of going on out of nowhere. Like I need to see something before I go and buy.
It's because people don't like Robinson. For whatever reason, they don't like Robinson, so they have to back their hot take up that he's not good by finding someone else.
Of course.
And so they reach on a guy like Anthony Miller.
Go ahead.
Because there's no one else on the team that can steal targets.
Yeah.
And you can't, and a guy who gets 150 targets that's halfway decent is going to finish as a wide receiver 2. If he's good, he's going to be a wide receiver 1. And right now you can get him as a flex player.
I'm taking that 120%. Taking that. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So who's your next sell?
Man, I'm like on the fence with this guy, and it's like I don't know yet. He's another guy that I have to wait and see more of and actually see what happens. And that's Deebo Samuel. Deebo's going too high, man. Back in
very the third, up in the air.
He's in the 3rd round.
3rd round?
3rd round.
No,
back in the 3rd round. That's a little too expensive for me. For a guy that gives me like, I don't want to compare him to a Tavon Austin or one of these smaller fast speed guys, but it's kind of what I'm seeing on these highlight tapes. Like him getting a little bubble screens. Yeah, that's cool. That's yards. That's PPRs. Getting the receptions. How many times are they going to do that a game? And it's like, there's film on this guy now, so maybe they nip that in the butt because San Fran, they're not going back to the Super Bowl. I'll be honest, they'll probably make wild card this year, but it's like I'm not sold on Deebo just yet to be taking him that high. Like, think about it, you're taking him in the back end of the 3rd round, so he's your 3rd pick.
So he's probably your number one receiver.
Yeah, number one receiver, your wide receiver too. It's like, it just doesn't sound right to me right now. It doesn't bring me like to the draft board. I'm like, oh, I got to get Debo right now. He's not going to make it to me. Like, I don't feel like I can do that, honestly. And I think these ADPs are crazy to me. When I was looking at all these other websites, they're matching. They're really matching. So it's like, this is accurate that, Debo's going in the third. And like plenty of other mock drafts I've done, I haven't seen him go that high. But now there's a wave of people jumping on the hype train. So it's like, it's going to happen.
I think it's recency biased. Honestly, I think people sit there and they go, they saw him in the Super Bowl and they saw that playoff run. He's got talent. There's no doubt that he's got talent. But I agree with you. He's kind of gimmicky.
Yeah, I really, like what did anybody see that was just like, I need this guy? You know what I mean? He's going to be elite. He's going to be the top receiver for San Fran. Oh, let's not forget he won't be the top target because Kittle's still there.
No, it doesn't make sense because, like you're saying, you're doing that. You take him at the third round. You either have stacked running backs and he's your wide receiver one, so you're passing up on guys like, all right, third round. You're passing up on a guy like Lockett. You're taking him out of a guy like Robinson,
T.Y. Hilton.
Or if you're going, if you've already got a receiver and a running back and you're looking to maybe get a number two receiver, you're going to pass up on guys like Kittle or like Patrick Mahomes or like Lamar Jackson, or going to get a solid number two running back. You could maybe get, I'm trying to think, third round there.
Third round, you probably get
Gordon or Sanders.
Yeah, exactly. You can get any good value back that will contribute a lot of points to you week to week instead of a one trick pony Debo Samuel.
Yeah, no, I think he's got a high ceiling but a very low floor. I would not take him in this top. I wouldn't take him probably in the top 5 because you have to play those guys week in and week out.
Yes.
If he could fall to 6th or 7th and I can be putting him in my flex, I'm happy. But if I have to start him, no.
He's not a start and forget. Like, that's the thing. If I can label this guy as a start and forget, then fine. He's in my lineup. But I can't with Debo. Like, I just can't do that. It's honestly, it just doesn't feel comfortable. It kind of like how I felt with Cortland Sutton being my wide receiver one, like before the draft. But like, you know what I mean? So it still didn't feel right to me.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go to a very controversial decision because everybody in the world is selling this guy. Well, I am the only one buying him. And I think he's a good buy because all the experts are telling you to sell. And that is Derrick Henry.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I'm right with you. Give me him.
Hot take, number 1, Derrick Henry's currently going as the 8th RB off the board.
Yep.
I mean, he was the number 3 running back in standard league, and I think number 5 in PPR. Am I right? Yeah. So, I mean, and he's going as 8 in standard. I don't even know what he's going in PPR. I'm going to guess he's not top 10.
He's going most mock drafts that I've been mocking since the end of January. So he's been going between pick 10, 11, and 12.
Okay.
And that back end in the first round.
So you could get him back in the first round, early second.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can pass up on this guy. I mean, he got so many carries last year.
Yeah, and so many. But here's the thing. This is why, though. Because he's a guy that starts off very slow. Now, one of my league mates can contest to that. He started off 0-4. 0-4 with a Derrick Henry. So he was kind of just like, oh, I'm done. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing and blah, blah, blah. And then he traded me him for DJ Chark.
Oh.
And that led me straight to the championship.
So this guy is probably, if he listens to this, he's going to be so mad at you.
I'm going to tag him. But the thing is, though, like, it's the impatient people. Like, we all know Derrick Henry, he gets hot soon as playoff time come around. He gets really hot and he stays hot. He will take you to the dance and he will screw the prom queen right in front of you. That's how far he's taking you to the dance. So it's like people need to be patient with these type of players. So I think like Derrick Henry, he has a slow start because, again, they just paid Tannehill. They're going to make Tannehill throw the ball now. They're going to make him, like earn that paycheck.
but I still don't think so. Vrabel has, since Vrabel came there, Derrick Henry has been a top 10 running back to back years. He gives him 200 plus carries, and they made the playoffs last year, and they were 9-7 the year before that. I don't see Vrabel getting away from Henry too much. They franchised Henry, and they drafted a running back in the 3rd round, which means in a dynasty league, I might be avoiding Henry, but in a redraft, I think they're going to run him into the ground this year. I think they're going to run him into the ground.
Sword, because it's like they could possibly cut back his carries, so there's no reason to pay him that big money that they can't afford. Let's put that out there. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that could go on, and like I don't like to think that I think too much, but I don't want them to run him to the ground, and I don't think he wants to run himself to the ground to devalue his value as a running back right now. The market's very high for him right now. So if they give him like 20 carries a game, cool. But his risk of injury is going to go up.
He's a competitor, though. You didn't hear him complaining this season when he got franchise tagged. You didn't hear him complaining when he was coming on the tail end of his contract, running the ball 30 times in the playoffs.
He was happy. He was happy. Finally.
He wants to win. He's going to go out there, and he's never in his career averaged less than 4 yards a carry.
No, yeah. Straight dog.
So, I mean, now you got to see where he's going. And I've got him in mind in standard scoring league. I have him number 4. In PPR, I got him as my number 5 running back. I see him going at 8. It's just volume. Obviously, if Derrick Henry if you're sitting in the top 5, I don't think you take, in a PPR league at least, I don't think you take Derrick Henry.
No, you don't.
I think I'd take Michael Thomas over him. I'd definitely take Dalvin Cook, CMC, Barkley, and Elliott over him in PPRs. But and then in standard scoring, I think I might take him over Elliott because I think McCarthy doesn't use running backs as much. But going where he is, if you're sitting at the tail end of the 1st round and he's still available, I feel like it's a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
He gets so many
honestly, I think I'll take him over Joe Mixon. So that back end, like 10, 11, 12, I think I would take Henry. Well, no, Kamara's falling back there too as well.
I'd take him over. So that was what I looked at. I'm like, all right, so which guys would I take him over? I'd take him over Kamara, Jackson, and Mixon.
Only, I think, because he'll see more touchdowns than those guys.
I said Jackson. I meant Jacobs. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And
but those are guys going ahead of him.
Yeah, because I feel like all those guys are going ahead of him is because the slow start. You know what I mean? That might be the narrative that's going on right now with the slow start. Some guys don't like, being patient for these guys to start getting hot, but it's like it pays off. It's been 2 years in a row now. It pays off. He gets hot in the playoffs. That's it.
I got a guy in my league who does that every year. Every year he takes the slow starters, and every year he's sitting at like 3-3, 2-4. And then he goes on a run, and everyone's like, I don't want to face him in the playoffs. We're going into, we're heading into week 13 into the playoffs, and he is like 8-4, and he was 2-4, and everyone's like, I don't want to play him. He gets the waivers, and I don't love Kamara as much as everyone else does because he hasn't proven to me yet, at least with his injuries.
He's a guy that you know what you're getting. Yeah, I think with Kamara, you know what you're getting out of him. I honestly don't see how he warrants anything above, maybe a Joe Mixon or Derrick Henry, for the simple fact, like, we know where he's getting 81 receptions. That's cool. 3 years in a row, 81, 81, 81. That's pretty to look at. But it's like, what you're getting out of that system. You know what you're getting out of Kamara. And it's like, I think that's like a safe pick. It's not exactly like you're going overboard or you're, waiting too late to, get him to steal. It's just like, it's a safe pick. Alvin Kamara's on like probably like the top 5 offenses with Drew Brees there for now on. So it's like, I'll take him. Why not?
Yeah. So who's your last sell?
My last sell, man. I was campaigning for this guy since January, man. Devin Singletary.
You're selling Singletary because of Zach Moss?
Yeah, solely because of Zach Moss. Because we have to be honest with ourselves. Devin Singletary, he finished strong. He finished great. and we were having high hopes for him only because we knew Frank Gore is going to be gone next season, right? So everybody's like jumping on the Singletary season. LaShawn McCoy is traded or whatever, and it's like, yes, finally we get Singletary. That backfield is not crowded anymore. So he just started climbing up the draft boards. Right now he's in the 4th round, and it's like, pump the brakes. For the simple fact that we've seen Singletary with the stats he had with Frank Gore, yes, he was productive, but does that warrant anything in the 4th round for a running back? I think we're looking at Singletary's ceiling right now. We're not looking at his potential. We're looking at his ceiling of what he's going to put up with the nagging, pestering Zach Moss back there, taking all the TDs, taking all the 3rd down touches. It's just going to be a constant headache week to week with that investment into Singletary thinking he's going to blow off, give you 20 points this week, 25 points next week. It's not going to happen. You're just looking at the ceiling right now.
I'm going to pull out a really, really old reference. We'll see if you know what this reminds me of? You remember a guy by the name of Willie Parker, Fast Willie Parker for the Steelers?
Willie Parker. It sounds familiar.
I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure I'm not messing the name up. Willie Parker. Yeah, running back for the Steelers.
Yeah.
So he was the backup. Everybody loved him. He was very small, quick, make guys miss. It was maybe like, yeah, here it is. It's 2007. He gets handed over the reins because Jerome Bettis is getting old. He becomes the number 1, and they have Big Ben, who likes to rush on short yardage situations. He goes out. He has very good season, 1,300 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns.
What? What? 1,300 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That is what I fear with Devin Singletary's. That's like, and I don't even know if Devin Singletary's as talented as Willie Parker.
Yeah. That's a lot of yards.
Josh Allen and Zach Moss are going to take away all the short yardage situations. Willie Parker got no carries on 3rd and short. He got no red zone touches. None. And like he did a little bit of everything, he had 200 receiving yards, 1,300 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
And I think that's what Devin Singletary's ceiling is. I don't think he puts up quite that much. And if you're going to have him as your, like you say, start and forget guy,
yeah,
you might be a little disappointed. In the flex, he's going to get yards, but he'll have those games for you where he rushes the ball 15 times for 50 yards, throws in 2 or 3 catches for 10 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Well, Zach Moss gets like 3 carries for 8 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you're like, what the hell?
Yep. What the hell? That's the thing. That's the problem that I'm getting. I don't want that headache. I don't want it because that's the most frustrating thing to deal with. Because now you got to go out and get a Zach Moss, but then do you start him? Hell no. So it's like, bro, that is the most frustrating thing right there. And it's like I've been campaigning for Singletary for months now, and it's like I gotta just come to terms that it's Singletary season's over. You know what I mean?
And that's not even factoring in the fact that Josh Allen wants those goal line touches himself a lot. He's going.
Fun fact, Josh Allen has more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson.
and if Josh Allen sees nobody lining up in front of the center on 3rd and short, it's supposed to be Devin Singletary, they're sitting on the 1 yard line, he's audibling it, and he's getting the touchdown.
Yes, for sure.
That's why it just reminds me a lot of that with Willie Parker, because Jerome Bettis and Ben Roethlisberger remind me a lot of Zach Moss and Josh Allen, and that they're going to steal those touchdowns. All right, so for my 3rd guy, I'm going on another very controversial comment. I'm saying that Tom Brady, who I hate, but I got to tell you, he's the GOAT, is going way too late. Tom Brady is going the 21st quarterback. He's going at 134 overall. I know he's going to be 43, but Jameis Winston with 35 turnovers was the number 5 quarterback.
Yes.
You can't tell me that Tom Brady, even at 43, isn't 80% of Jameis Winston?
I'll take that.
Yeah,
But
without the turnovers.
here's my issue. What playbook are they going to be doing? What system? Is it a Tom Brady system or now is it a Bruce Arians system? Does Tom come there and throws the ball about 35, 40 times a game like Winston? I don't think so.
So
that's where I got it.
I think it's if they're smart, and I think both Bruce Arians and Tom Brady are smart people. And I think Tom Brady just wants to win. I think it's going to become a hybrid because you can't completely run Tom Brady's offense because you've got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
And that's where they will clash because Bruce Arians, I don't care who feels some type of way about it. He hates tight ends.
Yep.
I've literally posted this stat over and over. He hates tight ends. So Gronk going there, he's solely going to be used in the red zone. That's it. Yep. That's it. He's going to be independent.
I did a stat out with Gronk where I think I put him at like 500 yards with like 10 touchdowns. That's the thing. He's going to get a lot of touchdowns.
That's what's going to look crazy.
But he was a touchdown machine his whole career. Mm-hmm. And he's going to miss 3 or 4 games at least. I don't care. He's healthier now. He's this, he's that. He sat out a year. All right. So like, okay, his body doesn't start breaking down week 3 or 4 this year. It breaks down week 8 or 9. It's still going to eventually break down.
Yes, it is.
You can't, like, you just don't recover from that stuff, you know? And as you age and stuff, and some of these people, they don't get it. Like, I never played sports at his level, but I've played sports my whole life, and I've got a bad knee, and I take time off, and then when I go for a run, it still hurts at the end of it. And
I have a groin issue. I played indoor soccer. I played soccer all year round. And like when I took that little 3-month summer off, my groin was still acting up in the fall. So it didn't make a difference. You know what I mean? And like he's taken, let's say, 1.5 years off of football. But I can guarantee you that first year he took off, he was not training. He was not preparing his body for the NFL again. He was doing WWE appearances. He was doing all these like crazy appearances around the industry and stuff. So it's like, do you really think he's football ready right now? No. It's gonna be a struggle.
Are you watching The Last Dance?
Yes.
So did you, I think it might have been last week with they were talking about when Jordan came back from baseball.
Yep.
And he was like, I was in shape. He's like, I was working out. But he's like, it was a different shape. Like my core was strong. I could throw the basketball really far. I couldn't run. I couldn't jump. So Rob Gronkowski is working out. He's in lifting shape. He's in look shredded at WWE shape.
Exactly.
He's not in jumping up for, trying to go up and catch jump balls 10 times a game, getting hit in the stomach, getting hit in the legs. He's not in football shape. It's a different animal, a completely different animal. But I still think like Tom Brady as the 21st quarterback and so late that like, I don't know if he's going to be, I think Tom Brady's going to be a low end QB1. I think like last year, he was the number 12 quarterback throwing to nobody. The year before that, he was the number 14. The year before that, he was the MVP and the number 2. He threw for 4,000 yards the last 3 seasons. He just reminds me a lot. He's going to be motivated. It reminds me a lot of Brett Favre's first year in Minnesota, where he captured some magic he had lost for 1 season, and then he looked like a joke after that. I think Tom Brady comes in very motivated, a ton of good receivers. I mean, Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards. So if Tom Brady can put up 80% of that, he's still throwing for 4,000 yards. Jameis Winston threw for 30-some touchdowns. 80% of that is mid-20s. Jameis Winston turned the ball over 35 times. Tom Brady's going to turn the ball over 5 or 6.
I'll give you that. Yeah, he's going to turn the ball over way less. But I don't know, man. Because he never had this many weapons. I'll put that out there. He never had this many weapons.
Maybe 2007, the year they went undefeated.
Yeah, so many years removed. Yeah, goddamn.
Randy Moss and Wes Welker.
I'll even add O.J. Howard as a weapon as well.
Yeah, if they keep him.
I think they will. They will.
Yeah.
They'll keep him because they know Gronk is in 100% in shape. So
Cameron Brate's not bad either.
Winston loved Cameron Brate.
Yeah.
I tell you that. He loved
Cameron Brate reminds me a lot of the tight ends Tom Brady usually has.
Yes.
He's cut from the same cloth as the Gronk and the Aaron Hernandez, the guy you have to be careful talking about.
R.I.P.
Yeah, we're talking about the same cloth on the field. Hopefully not the same cloth off the field.
Yeah, for real.
So I'm not advocating that you go and you take Tom Brady like Tom Brady of 5-6 years ago as a top 5 quarterback. But what I'm saying is if you're holding off, you're sitting back, you're not in love with any of the quarterbacks, and you're in a 12-man league and 10 or 11 quarterbacks are off the board, I might take Tom Brady over a Joe Burrow or a Sam Darnold or a Daniel Jones. Those are the other guys you're looking at that point. And I'm also not saying for dynasty. Don't touch Tom Brady in a dynasty. He's going to be 43 years old. Even if you're in win now, you don't touch Tom Brady in dynasty. Nobody should have Tom Brady on your dynasty team unless you already had him and he's sitting on your bench and you love the fact that he's playing an atrocious Saints defense and your quarterback's on a bye and it's going to be a shootout. Because Tom Brady is not going to be a top 5. He's probably not going to be a top 10, but I could see him in that 11 to 15 range, and he's not going there. So if you're not number one, like completely sold on your quarterback, you went and you get Kyler Murray or Josh Allen, who are going pretty high, but there's still some question marks. They're still young guys. Baker Mayfield took a big step back, and you want a solid backup. Tom Brady's a good option.
Yeah, that's a good insurance policy right there with Tom Brady. I could take that. That's like if I took Drew Brees or like an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
another couple big names. But by the way, I'll take Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers.
But Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees are going in that 10 to 15 range. Tom Brady's going back in the 20s. And that's why I'm saying I'm saying he should be going up there with them. He should be going.
That is true.
So, and I knew that the minute I said it, you were going to be like, Tom Brady. Like, I don't want, like, no one wants a 43-year-old as their sit.
I just need to see how offense looks for the first couple of weeks. Because that's my biggest question. Like, whose playbook are they going to use? Like, whose system are they going to use? Because I can't see Tom Brady going full Bruce Arian. You know what I mean?
No. And I can't see Bruce Arian going full Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, exactly. So I think they're going to clash on a couple things, but it'll somewhat, gel together and they'll probably win. I think they could win the division. You know what I mean?
And I think that's Tom Brady's going to be, like you said, that slow burn. It's going to be week 3 or 4 before you start finding out before they figure out the way to work that offense.
Yeah, it's going to take some time to gel because it doesn't happen overnight, especially with this pandemic going on. There's going to be a lot of restraints and holds on what they could do and practice and et cetera. So it's going to be weird to see how everybody else shapes out of this as well, especially the rookies. I think they take the biggest hit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you got to be very careful taking those mid-round drafted rookies. That's why I'm really confused on what to do with, like, I was high on Ronald Jones. Then they took who's that running back? Yeah. And now I'm not sure if I want to touch a Bucs running back because Bruce Arians is running back by committee.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't think Vaughn is a can't miss talent. And he was taken in the 3rd round. They might not have camp. So now I went from, Ronald Jones is going in like the 5th or 6th round, and that's great. I would take him there I don't think I'm going to touch a Bucs running back this season. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, wait and see. He's another wait and see. And I was high on Keyshawn Vaughn like months before even he's literally my only rookie breakdown on my channel. So I was like high on him. So it's like I don't know. It like you said, I kind of don't know if I want to touch a Bucs running back right now. But there's a battle on, Twitter right now between Ronald Jones and Keyshawn Vaughn. And then my vote to that is just neither of them. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, it's a wait and see situation. I kind of don't want that headache as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's everybody we had. Those are our buy sells.
Quick. I felt like we had a lot more to go.
We did 3, right?
Yeah, we did 3. Yeah, 6.
Yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to the crying Giants fans with me after DeAndre Baker. I literally haven't even posted it. I do a monthly video with this guy, The Hub. He's a Giants YouTuber. And we talked about how like the Giants secondary was atrocious last year. And then we got James Bradbury. We got DeAndre Baker. We got Xavier in the draft. We're like, yeah, Baker's not your number 1 corner, but putting him as a nickel or the number 2, they definitely could move up. I haven't even put the video up because I got sick and I didn't edit it yet. And now I'm like a little nervous. I'm like, I'm going to put that up and people are going to be like, hey, Baker doesn't play anymore. He's going to be in jail. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but let's just wait and see what the full story is, because you know how things can go. Because there's a lot of things floating around that he didn't do it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But you know how the NFL is and how Roger Goodell is. There's a very good chance, like best case scenario, I feel like for the Giants right now is Goodell suspends them 2 to 3 games for making the league look bad.
6 games.
Or but I'm saying best case scenario. Like best case scenario.
Best case scenario.
Charges. He doesn't get charged.
Yeah.
The Giants don't suspend him, cut him. He doesn't go to jail. I mean, worst case scenario is his career's over and he's in jail for 30 years for armed robbery. So but I feel like Goodell's like, you shouldn't have been at that party. You shouldn't be putting yourself in those situations, blah, blah, blah. You're suspended 3 games.
Yeah, because I feel like as an NFL player, you're an employee as well. So you should you should hold yourself to higher standards than be at like public parties where, the regular civilians, etc. But, I can't tell people how to live their life. I can't tell people how to, spend their money, etc. But like, it's kind of like you should know you're an NFL player on a high platform of a team like New York, and you're going to make headlines. So therefore, you shouldn't be at this party. You shouldn't be doing the things you do or hanging out with the people you should be hanging out with. Wasn't the other guy a Redskins player too?
Former. He just that's the funniest part. He got traded to Seattle like a week before, and during his press conference, they did a virtual press conference. Seattle found out there's a warrant for his arrest. They were doing a press conference Thursday morning, and like the GM was like, gets like an email, and it's like, hey, there's a warrant out for Quentin Dunbar's arrest. He was like,
well, this is awkward.
like, great. Awesome.
God,
guy hasn't played a game for us yet, and he might never. And they gave up, I think it was like a 5th and like a 7th or something for him.
Highway robbery.
Maybe the Redskins knew. The Redskins were like, this guy is going to jail. We'll trade him.
Jail. But, we'll wait and see. Honestly, you got to think about, why would an NFL player that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars rob somebody? It just doesn't sound right. It doesn't even read right. You know what I mean? When I look at the article, it doesn't make sense.
But why would Plexico Burress with 5 bodyguards carry a gun on him to a club when he's got 5 darn bodyguards?
He shot himself, right?
Yeah, he shot himself.
Idiot. That's why. He's an idiot.
Why is Aaron Hernandez running with gangs and killing people?
He's an idiot.
I mean, you keep saying, why was, you read about the biggest draft bust in history. Why is Ryan Leaf robbing people of drugs, breaking into people's house for drug money when he was the 2nd overall pick of the NFL draft?
Because he's a bust.
but he wasn't a bust yet. He's doing this right out the gate.
He knew it himself.
So I mean, people are stupid.
Yeah, that is true.
I'll
I'll agree with you on that. But Aaron Hernandez, he was a different situation. He was just completely.
I think he was mentally ill.
Yeah, he was just
Like he's
finest.
He's straight up crazy. Like he should have been on medication, probably in a loony bin.
He should
not
have
playing in the NFL.
Age of 15.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And he was a great player.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great.
I was watching the Gators highlights of him, and that's once in a lifetime talent right
there. It's so funny because you know who one of his best friends was in Florida?
Was it Tebow?
Yeah, the pious Tebow was like his best friend.
Yeah. Obviously, he didn't rub off on him.
No, they weren't doing this. They weren't doing the same things on the weekends.
No, completely opposite. Bible study and murdering people.
Yeah. They come into practice. Hey, how was your weekend? Tim Tebow's like, I read a couple chapters of the Bible. Aaron Hernandez is like, I beat the crap out of 10 people and threatened to kill another. Oh, okay.
All right. All right, let's get to practice.
Yeah. All right. Well, as fun as this is, I think I'm going to call an end to this one, and definitely I want to get on with you some more.
Yes, sir.
I know we're looking into doing a league, so that should be fun. Doing a live draft, we'll get all that stuff up. We'll be tweeting out who wins, who loses.
Sure, trade, all that stuff.
Lots of bragging rights. It's going to be up for grabs there.
Yes.
Before we do the shout out, once again, I want to, before we do the outro, once again, I want to give LQ a huge shout out. I mean, his channel is great. His YouTube is very fun. He puts up lots of, like I was saying earlier, little video breakdowns of things going on, like 1-2 minute ones. And on his Twitter, on his YouTube, he's got lots of real in-depth breakdowns. He's constantly posting stuff. I'm looking now. He just posted, stuff about Carlos Hyde. He's really on top of it. And if you got the time and you're liking and following me and you like my stuff, you should be liking and following him as well.
My man, appreciate you for having me on, man. Awesome. I can't wait to do the league live draft. We got to jump on more videos as the league starts rolling up because we're going to have a lot of content, people.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of people flooding to YouTube, flooding the Twitter, and etc. to get that fantasy content because football is going to be back, and it's going to be back stronger than ever.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.